Welcome everyone. I want to invite everyone and thank you for coming to the Carlebach Shul. One thing when we think about Rabbi Carlebach is we think of, obviously the Torah that he taught, and one main thing is music, right? A lot of people are into music, and it's a good thing if used right. Now, what attracts us to music? It's not so much music. It's not the music itself really that's attracting the people who want to listen to music. There's something in the music that's the ingredient that we want, and it's in there, which means like this: if you have that ingredient in another topic, like we're going to talk about, a topic, let's say, of ideas, you see, not a topic of sound. Sound with an ingredient can turn into music. Ideas with an ingredient can turn into something. So what are we getting at? There's something called, this is the Hebrew word for it, it's a Kabbalistic term also, Tiferet. Tiferet is beauty. Now when we think of beauty, how do we really translate the word beauty? It has a meaning. It doesn't just mean, oh, something's beautiful, so I like it. There's an actual definition to what something is beautiful, and something has characteristics to be beautiful or not. In many ways, beauty is not an opinion, as we sometimes think. Beauty is a fact. It has to have certain properties, and then it is called beautiful. So what is that? We know that, well, let's not get into that yet. Beauty is when you have multiplicity, many things that come together and form one unit of those things. That's really what it is. Something beautiful is when you see many parts blending into one whole. And then it's beautiful. We like that. And we'll see why we like that. Let's say you take a painting. A painting has many brush strokes of all colors, but it comes together into one painting of a tree or a person, whatever it is. So all these brush strokes is making one idea. If you took all those brush strokes and separated them, what would you have? You'd have a splatter on a canvas, as though someone just splattered it. And that's not beautiful to look at. It wouldn't be called beauty. So beauty is when the many parts come together as one. Now in sound, you have that too. When sound comes together and makes a unit of it, so that's called a song. And that's why I didn't say why yet, but we are attracted to that because we're attracted to unity. That's the point. Our neshama is built, our soul is built, that we are attracted instantly to beauty. So we like to see art. We like to hear music. You see? If you took sound and just did any sound, like this and made all kinds of noise, a person would cover his ears. You'd get nervous from it. So it's not just we like music and it's we hate non-music. We hate it. We cringe. If you hear some sounds, you can't take it. But put those same sounds and make an organization out of it, we can't stop listening. See? Same thing with ideas. And I don't want to do too much introduction because I want to get to the point here. Because the class is going to take that long. When we talk about ideas, we're going to make music out of the ideas. How do you do that? Now, we don't have music today. In the ideas meaning, not sound, but idea music. We don't have... Our Torah is not... It doesn't have the property of tiferet, of beauty. How do we know? Because we have a verse we say. We say in the Tachanun, Mondays and Thursdays, where we say extra prayers in the shul. We say, Ad matai uzecha bashevi. We ask Hashem, how long will your oz, your might, be in captivity? V'tifartecha, and your tiferet, biyad sar, in the hand of Sar, the enemy. Our beauty, whatever beauty is in the Torah, is in the hands of the enemy. Which means we don't have it. Which means not that we don't have Torah. We have Torah. Here it is. It's a Torah. But somehow we don't have the linking of all the units to make one system out of it all. And that's what's going to get us all interested. Many times when we're learning, and again, not to get into this too much, but when we're learning Gemara, let's say, and the Gemara is on purpose, not to say, anything. The Gemara is very holy, Kodesh Kodashim, and on purpose, it's in many ways in disarray. It has things all over the place, which it has, whatever its reasons for. Obviously, the Maimonides agreed with that because the Rambam, he made the book, the Mishneh Torah. He tried to make it as systematic so that our interest and, well, not so much interest, but after a person's interested, because you have to understand the holiness of Torah, and then he can remember it, maybe if it's more organized. So I'm just showing you, it's not a knock on Gemara. Gemara has its own system for its own reason, but how am I going to remember such a thing, such a doctrine? It's very hard. So if I can make music out of the Shas, out of Talmud, if I can make music out of it, and link it all together so that it becomes one design, I won't close the book. You can't close the book. It's like listening to a song over and over and over. Sometimes you just can't stop. It's that interesting. But when it's not unified, it becomes not just boring, it becomes I can't take it. Because we can't take disunity. So people want to close the book as fast as they can. And that's what we see today. So what we want to do is we want to find the beauty that's in the Torah in ideas. So let's get to this now. How do we do that? What does it mean ideas of Torah is not presented in a beautiful way? So there's two types of books. We have two types of books. Let's see. I want to ask, people here, see what you think. Is the Torah a short story book or is it like a novel? What's the difference? A short story book is you could open to page 92 and read the story of 92 and okay, fine. Nothing to do with the pages before and the pages after. It's its own story. Every page has its own little story. Is the Torah like that? Or is the Torah like a novel where you have, if you start on page 46, you don't know what's going on because you needed to start on page 1 and then 2 and 3 because a whole story is coming out.
It's a novel.
Okay. I should tell everyone to prove it because I guess it might be the obvious guess. But why would we say it's a novel?
Because it's everything links together. It's you have to appreciate what happened before in order to understand what's happening later on.
Okay, that's true. Now, people might not know in reality how we do that, so I want to give examples. That's what we're going to do tonight.
As I said, in some ways it is novel, in other ways it's not, because there's a lot of skipping, there's a lot of kind of fill in the gaps, so you don't know what happened in between.
Right, okay.
And Beresheit, so there's a whole thing where we're like, what happened here? It's kind
That's
of
true.
Zooms forward for no good reason.
That's true. But that's what looks like the short story. So we're going to show how even that is really comes together as one. Now, let me just give you some examples why we would think it's short stories. First, you have the story about Adam and Chava. Then you have Cain and Hevel. Then we move on to the Avot, Avraham Avinu. Then we get to the patriarchs. Then Yosef HaTzadik. What does Yosef HaTzadik's story have to do with Cain and Hevel? What does Abraham's story really have to do with any other story? So it does look like they're little short stories. And we know we have the Parasha of the week. We're always learning the Parasha of the week, those stories of that week. We don't think of what happened last week or next week to try and make something out of it. We're not even used to doing that. We focus on the Parasha of the week. That already shows that in a way something's wrong. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how we take Beresheit as one long story. I'm going to try and pull that off tonight, okay? Okay, so we need a lot of introduction. It might take 10 minutes or so just to get some certain foundation ideas. And then we'll start to tie it all in. Now it's not just Beresheit. The 5 books have this theme also. Just we're gonna play with Sefer Beresheit. Okay. Okay. So here we go. When Hashem created the world, He created the world out of 2 possibilities. He could have made the world be, and again Kabbalah, Sefirot, we use these terms. There's Chesed or Din. Chesed is unconditional. Hashem could have made the world as unconditional, and I'm skipping a lot, I'm just throwing things out. If we wanted to really analyze from A, B, C, we would start even from a different place. So Hashem created this world and created man, and said that he can either get the future world, which is what we're trying to get, turning this world into the future world, and obviously we will live there, it can be unconditional or conditional. Chesed is unconditional, where we don't have to do anything. He'll just do it. Meaning the second he creates us, he'll make the next world. That's it. Just put us in the great state from the get-go. We don't have to do anything. It's not based on anything we do. That would be unconditional. Conditional is it's only based on what we do. So he has to put us here first, do something, and that doing is going to get us exactly, we're going to have exactly what we've done. Now, obviously, because we know certain things, Hashem picked the din way. The givura is the term of the Sefer, actually, that it's right justice or judgment, which means we have to earn the future world. So now, what he did was he put man onto the scene, and he told him, okay, you have to now do whatever the mitzvah is, that you shouldn't eat from the tree. And what's he going to do then? He's going to turn this world into a holy place, which means like this. And you should always remember these few examples. We have here, seltzer, let's just say water, okay? This water could turn into ice. And this water can turn into steam, okay? What does that make you think of? Steam, water, ice. So this is the basic solid liquid gas, right? Solid liquid gas of one thing. The one thing is called, not water, what's it called? H2O. So H2O is the thing, the entity, and this entity has three forms of it. Solid, liquid, gas, but it's the same thing, okay? Same thing with the world. The world in many ways, what Hashem created, is a thing, but this thing has different forms of it. There's the spiritual form, which is like the gas type of form. And then there's the solid rock form, which we're in, down here, which is like the ice form. So what's down here and up there is really the same thing. It's just one is in ice form and one is a steam form. And water is actually three higher worlds. It's actually, we say this. We say that there's 4 worlds, the 3 higher worlds and the world down here, which is just, let's name them. Down here is Asiya. Then you have Yetzirah, Biriah, and Atzilut. So that corresponds to solid, liquid, gas, and energy. Energy would be the top one, Atzilut. So everything's connected and paralleled. Okay? So Hashem told Adam, he's in this world, this physical world. Whatever physical world he was in, it's a whole nother topic where he really started in, because he was in Gan Eden, and that was set in Olam of Yetzirah, actually. But whatever it was, he started wherever he started. And Hashem told him, turn your world into gas. And you too. And he would have went into the future world. That would have been it. And he was supposed to do that. Now that's Kiddusha. When you take ice and turn it into gas, that's Kiddusha. Kiddusha is when that happens, just to have that idea. Now, instead of doing what he was supposed to do and bring the world into that state, instead he did something else. See, that's why it's good to know he started, let's say, in the water world, okay? So he instead of going up, he brought it down one. He brought it to the ice level. You see, so it got worse. Because if he's starting on ice, where are you going to say he brought it down to? So the truth is, he did start in Olam Yetzirah, and he brought the whole world down into Asiya, which is where we are now, physical, ice world.